All right, everybody, we are back on another Friday reaction kind of video. I'm just going to move this maybe just a little bit so you can see more of the Moneymaker, see the Sailor Moon t-shirt and all that fun stuff. Yeah, we are back with another reaction video, and this one came upon my desk. This is the first time I've actually seen an article on this Yahoo lifestyle. This one's by Brent Milano. This was a couple weeks ago, January 5th. 15th, 2023. Greatest prog rock singers, a top 30 countdown. So I haven't looked at this yet. I'm pretty excited to see this. Already I can see, if I scroll down just a little bit, we can already see a few individuals. I believe that is Annie from Renaissance. There is Greg Lake. The two on the ends I'm not too familiar with. So some predictions. Obviously, we can see the ones that are already here. I am also going to posit Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel. Geddy Lee would be on here as well. Because there's 30 of them, right? So they have to really stretch themselves a little bit. David Gilmour, I think, would be on here. I'm trying to think of other good singers on here. Oh, I always forget the chap's name, but the chap from Gentle Giant. He has a very distinguished voice. I won't agree with it, but Peter Hamill from Vandergraaf Generator. I don't think he has a very good voice. He has a very distinguished voice and a very characteristic voice, but I don't think he has a good voice. And I don't think he would even, I think he would even admit that he doesn't have a very good voice, but that's what made Vandergraaf Generator's music what it is. I also want to get some modern ones in here, like James LeBray. I want to put in Ross Jennings, because Ross Jennings, in my opinion, has the best metal voice currently. Let's see here. Who else am I going to throw into the pit? Michael Eckefelt. His clean vocals, just stunning. Absolutely stunning. Anyway, I've yammered on for way too much. Let's actually get into this, and then at the end, I'll kind of recap and think about some that I don't... that didn't come through here. And in this article, we can already see that Peter Gabriel's in here. Sally Oldfield is in here. Ian Anderson is already on here. I can see Steven Wilson right there. So, yeah. And we've got a little bit of preamble saying, yeah, we know about all the guitar heroes and drum monsters, but let's get into some singing. The first one I am not familiar with. Yeah, Sanja Christina, Curved Air. Don't know about that one. Okay. Interesting, though. Fish. I am so... wow, that's pretty high for Fish. Very distinct. He kind of started the whole neo-prog movement that then... I mean, it was kind of, again, cart and horse, but Peter Nichols from IQ, the two of them really did shape what IQ, what neo-prog would sound like. So very interesting to see that he's at 29. It'll be interesting to see who isn't here. Derek Schulman, that's who I was thinking of from Gentle Giant. Good to see that he's on here. Steve Walsh from Kansas. Yeah, I could see that. Absolutely, I can see that. Oh, I have to story continues it. Okay, story continues. Let's see. And of course they have Icarus on there. Yeah, that's great. Steve Hogarth, Morelli. Okay, interesting. It's interesting because I would actually put Steve Hogarth's vocal, if you're looking at pure singing voice, I would put Fish before Steve. Steve has a very characteristic, very distinguished voice, but I think he excels more as a lyricist than a singer. I prefer Fish's vocals, but that's just a preference thing. Let's see here. Dave Cousins from Straubs. Yeah, great stuff. That's where our boy Rick Wakeman got his start. Good to see that. Robert Wyatt from Soft Machine. Sure, yeah, absolutely. Sally Oldfield. Yeah, Sally never matched the fame of her younger brother Mike Oldfield. But I didn't realize that they first recorded as a duo. Waterburner is a beautiful record. I need to actually check that out because I haven't really heard it. But yes, I think we all know her soaring songs from Shadow of the Hierophant, from Voyage of the Acolyte. Such a beautiful voice. Absolutely. Richard Sinclair, yeah, from Carnival and Camel. Yeah, it's got a great voice in that sense. I will agree to that. Rod, I do not know this chap, so I'm going to have to take it on. Sure. Stephen Wilson from Porcupine Tree. Yeah, okay. Again, not a great singer, but sure. Let's see what else we have. Geddy Lee from Rush. Interesting that he is so high. I would put him quite like closer to the top here. But yeah, Geddy Lee, Rush. Yeah, I can see that some people aren't a huge fan. Very nasally in his approach, but I enjoy it. Yeah, great stuff. Gary Brooke from Procol Harum. Yeah, we all know him from Salty Dog, Whiter Shade of Pale. Conquistador, though, man, that's really what does it for me. Ike Willis from Frank Zappa. Yeah, sure. I don't know from Frank Zappa's, lineage of singers. I don't know if I would put Ike high, but it's still good. It's still all right. All right. Thesis Van Leer. Yep, from Focus. Oh, man, when he starts yodeling on Hocus Pocus, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, for sure. Roy Harper. Okay, I'm not too familiar with Roy Harper. Let's see here. Came out of the folk singing world. Classic Stormlock. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Roy. I'm sorry. That's one that I don't know. Adrian Belew. I don't like Adrian Bellows, or Bellows, or however you pronounce it. I don't like his singing. It's very like 80s new wave, like singing off key kind of style. I'm not a fan of that. But I know that a lot of people love it. It's just not for me. It doesn't sound good to my ears. Oh boy. Ian Anderson. Interesting that he's at number 13 because I think he's one of the best. I think he's one of the best singers. Yeah. Maddie Poyer, Steely Dan, and solo. Okay. I'm not as familiar with Maddie's work, but okay. Todd Rudgend. My uncle gave me a whole bunch of his records, but I never actually listened to it, so I can't comment on that. Justin Hayward from Moody Blues. Absolutely. Nights in Pale... Sorry, I always want to say Night in Pale Satin. Nights in White Satin is a great track, and it's so beautiful. Okay. Kate Bush. She's number one for me, man. Number one. Seeing her at number 9 hurts, but yeah, absolutely love her vocals. Even like later stuff, like 50 Words for Snow and Ariel. Even in her later career, her voice was stunning. Absolutely stunning. And that's a 1-2 punch with Peter Gabriel, because I also think he has a brilliant voice, and he knows the limitations of his voice, and he plays very, very well within it. So it's kind of like what he does with his voice that I love so much. Yeah, and at number 7, Phil Collins. I would agree that Phil Collins has a better singing style and singing voice. But yeah, and so I can't fault that. I think that that's a great placement for that. David Gilmour, as I had predicted, David Gilmour is here. Yep, I think he has a great singing style. I love his little bit more husky voice within it. Yeah, really good. Really, really good. Oh, and there's Annie Hellslam from Renaissance. Love Annie's voice. Love it. John Wetton. Yeah, if we're talking about like husky within a voice, John Wetton is probably the king of that. And yeah, he really made his rounds within the prog sphere with vocals. King Crimson, UK and Asia. Love John Wetton. Let's see here. John Anderson, number 3. Wow, again. Yeah, we're number 3. We're at the top of the list here, right? Yeah, I think John Anderson has a brilliant voice. I'd be hard pressed to say that he might be my number 2 after Kate Bush. Very, very good. But at number 3, can't say boo to that. Okay, number 2, Greg Lake. Yeah, Yeah, yeah. I love Greg Lake's singing voice because it's such like that traditional singer-songwriter stuff. So good. So very good. And what do we got for number one? Oh, I'm so sorry. I probably cracked the mic a couple of times on that one. Number one, Peter Hamill. What did I say at the beginning of this list? I do not agree with this at all. Holy jeez. The standard rap about Peter Hamill, that his dexterity with his voice is what Hendrix did with his guitar, is completely... Who says that? Who in their right mind says that? That Peter Hamill did with his voice what Hendrix did to this guitar? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Where are you getting this information? That is ridiculous. Like, Peter Hamill has a very distinct voice, and I like it for what it's doing with both his solo career and with the Van der Graaf generator. But like, to say it's a good voice, like, no, it's not. It's not a good voice. How can you put Peter Hamill at number one? That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Oh man, I am legitimately shocked at that. I am legitimately shocked. Like at number one. Wow, I could understand maybe at like number 10 or something like that, but like, he doesn't have a good voice. He doesn't. Wow. Okay, well, differing opinions, it makes the world go around. Holy jeez. Yeah, holy jeez. Let's scroll back up to the top. Because we've got some thoughts. We need to deconstruct this a little bit. Yeah, Brett Milano. What are you thinking, Brett? What are you thinking? So originally I was going to say that this list is way too like 70s focused, and it is. It absolutely is. But like, Brian is at least aware of the progressive rock movement that's happening now. Like, but still, there's so many amazing vocalists that he didn't include on here that are performing now. Like, you have Steven Wilson on here. So I know you also know of Michael Eckefeld. And like, to think that Michael Eckefeld is only a growler from Opeth now, like, he hasn't growled since like in 10 years. And his clean vocals are so good. And only to include, Fish and Steve Hagarth from Marillion as your only neo-prog stuff. Like, Peter Nichols' voice is astounding. It soars. But not to have like other stuff like that. I would even say like John Mitchell from Lonely Robot, Arena, and It Bites. His vocals, again, astound. Yeah, there's such a lack of representation from the modern movement. Even though I wouldn't necessarily agree to it, like Neil Morse on here, Nick DiVirgilo, David Lungden. Like, David Lungden has one of the best, unquestionable best vocals within the prog sphere. I might not be the biggest Big Train fan, even though I love some of their albums. Part of the reason that I love their albums is David's vocal works. His posthumous album solo record from last year is a tribute to that. I'm also shocked to see that like Daniel Gilden Lowe from Pain of Salvation wasn't on here either. Again, not a big fan of Pain of Salvation. Love some of their records, but overall, but one of the things that makes me love some of those records again is Daniel's vocal works. Wow. Again, I'm sorry. I'm just still shocked about Peter Hamill. But there you go. Agree to disagree in that sense. What do you guys think about this list? What are some of your favorite vocalists and singers from the progressive rock sphere? yeah, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, I can understand certain things, but I'm also like, ah. Like they had Kansas on here, but you didn't include like the Styx lead singer whose name I'm forgetting right now, or even like Supertramp with oh shoot, I've already forgotten the two chaps' names. But anyway, those individuals, right? Like wow, wee wah. There we go. As you can already tell, those are my thoughts about this list. Fairly well done. Fairly well done. Like there are certain ones that I definitely agree to, but a few that I'm like, I don't know. But overall, what did you guys think about this list? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Let me know all about that by commenting down below. And yeah, hopefully you guys are having a great time, a great day, and we'll catch you in the next not live stream, but the next video coming at you next week, next Friday. We'll see what we got. All right, until then, thank you all so much for watching. As always, you guys are definitely the best. And until next time, notes out.